No.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Easy on Me podcast. My name is Tiara.
I'm Oksana.
We got a special guest in the building. We got JaMaurie here.
What's up?
So, you want to go ahead and tell the people about yourself a little bit?
I am a husband. I'm a father. I'm a barber. Follow me on Instagram at DA_DAPPER BARBER. The Dapper Barber.
The Dapper Barber.
Owner and CEO of Destin Designs Beauty and Barber Salon.
All right.
Don't
Okay.
play
The Dapper
with 'em.
Barber, Destin Designs.
Husband to Janisha Siobhan Woods.
Shout out.
Father
Shout
to
out.
Legend Marquise Woods and Layla Marquise Woods.
I love that.
I'm a
love
daddy
the name.
and a zaddy. Don't play with me.
I love that.
Yes.
And
come
shout out
on.
to her, too, because, baby, it's late. Shout out. I would have been
We've
like,
been texting.
sir, where you at?
We've been texting.
Oh,
she got my
okay.
location.
No,
I would've been
let her
texting
know
Josh.
we still-
I'm texting Josh like, it's getting late. Where you at?
Yeah,
'Cause
she's-
Yeah.
shout out to her for
she's
sure.
well aware.
Thank you for
She's
letting
well
us
aware.
steal your husband.
Yes. So this podcast is about navigating life. We're gonna talk about everything under the sun, and we really about to get into it today.
We about to get into it today about millennials and church.
Millennials in church, but I want to start with what it is and what it ain't.
What it
Is
is.
it?
What it is this week.
What it is? I don't even know what it is. Ain't nothing isn't right now in my life.
What it is this. Dog, this class reunion. That's what it is. I'm just excited. Yeah, it's gonna be great. There's that.
What you got? Something positive happened in your week?
Okay, so it doesn't really apply to this week, but this past Saturday, me and wifey sold like 40-something places worth of barbecue.
Come on, somebody.
At the barbershop, while I'm cutting hair, baby was outside selling plates. You feel me? So we definitely made a big gain
So
every second and fourth Saturday. Yes,
So you do the.
I do. I put the meat on the pit.
And
she
right, she
selling.
do the side. Do she do the
I
sides?
love that.
No, I let her rest.
No, I'm saying so. Ain't no sides.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh, you cooking everything.
baked beans. and
cause men love to say they barbecuing, but they only did the meat.
The meat.
And the
we
woman
do it
done
all.
did all the
Like,
sides and all.
She'll ask me for help, but like by the time I get to cooking, it be late at night. So
Yeah.
like for
And
instance,
JaMaurie cook, and he can cook.
nah, for real.
And the next time nigga make jambalaya, anything with shrimp in it.
Yeah, I need
it's good.
to get some barbecue.
Yeah, not for real. Oh, hit me up on. I'll hit you up on the fourth Saturday. Y'all can
Y'all
like,
hit them up
subscribe,
for
and all that.
everything.
All that. But
So
second and
what
fourth
kind
Saturday.
of like you do all types of meat like
So
sausage?
far I've done. I'm doing my basic menu is sausage, chicken wings, brisket, and
That's the
I
only
want
thing I
some
want to
brisket.
eat. I don't want none else.
sausage, chicken wing, brisket, and it's up ribs. Pork or
Okay.
beef. But as of right now, I've been talking to some people who are vegan. They want to indulge and eat my food, but they're vegan. So I'm about to start doing vegan burgers.
Let's go.
I'm about to start adding a little more stuff to the menu. So, we're
So
looking
what's
into it.
that? What's that business name for the barbecue? You ain't thought about that?
I've been thinking Holy Smokes. Reason why I say Holy Smokes,
I like that.
it's catchy.
I like that.
It's catchy.
Holy
But
smokes.
the reason I've been thinking because I'm a Christian man.
Yeah.
We smoking meat, but I try to stay holy. So
Holy
Holy Smokes.
Nah, don't separate it like that no more.
I mean, I'm just saying
Holy
Holy
Smokes.
Smokes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So our topic for today is millennials in church, and we'll probably veer off into some other stuff. Who knows?
Millennials in church, millennials in life, us in life, life be going, can't stop, won't stop. All that good stuff right here, right now with, I call him J. Marquise. You know what I'm saying?
She
But-
does. No matter what my name is.
That's your
Jay-
Facebook
That's what she
name.
calls me. It is.
So, I mean, the first obvious question. We know that millennials are leaving the church by the busload. So, what are your thoughts on millennials leaving the church, and why do you think it is?
So I'm gonna try to pour a gallon into a cup. I feel like millennials, for the primary reason, are leaving the church because there's no sense of belonging. I feel like a lot of preachers have become comfortable preaching but not living. and you may ask what I mean by that. What I mean is like a lot of people have become okay with just presenting the scripture, presenting the word, saying what thus said the Lord. But when we look at you, you don't look like what you've been saying. And so a lot of millennials are leaving the church because perhaps for a people that are, which I think we're called the Y generation.
That's the thing. On some stuff it say we millennials, and some stuff say we Gen. Is it Y or Z?
No.
I don't know.
Z is like my son and them, and they're like 4.
Okay, so no, maybe Y then. I don't
Probably.
know.
But for a generation like ourselves, we came up with we came up during a time where it's very interesting, right? Like everything we knew literally changed right before our eyes.
Right.
Marriage. Let's start with that. We saw marriage go from being something that the woman did what the man said, and that was it. Don't ask no questions. To now, post pandemic and post graduation, we see women becoming more influential, more powerful, more
And
more
that's a good
more,
thing.
you know what I'm saying? Which is powerful,
That's a good thing.
but it's a culture shock, right? So when we come from seeing someone who plays the back part so well or the backstage so well to being someone who's on the front, it's like, okay, we need to see more. So I feel like I know a lot of millennials have left the church because it's like, okay, we're seeing what you're saying, but we're not seeing what you're doing. And then when we see what you're doing is outline of what you're saying, we're like, oh, if this is the closest representation to God that I may see in human form, and you doing what you're doing, then why would I trust your God?
Right.
And that's the thing. I think it's a level of authenticity and transparency that I think younger people are desiring now. Like we want to dig deeper. Like we're not interested, not saying we're not interested in scripture, but we're not interested in only that.
Right.
Like tell me, maybe if you, I mean, I guess everybody not comfortable sharing their story, but be real about something you may have struggled with,
raw.
or be real raw about it. I think that's my issue. Like I want realness, and I wouldn't get that at first.
Yeah. I think that coming from somebody who does preach, it can be hard to be transparent while trying to deliver a perfect God.
Right.
Because I never want anybody to correlate my dirtiness for his cleanness. Because we've all been saved by grace through faith.
Right, exactly.
So since we all have been that, it's almost lodged in our mind to believe that, okay, if the preacher is preaching, he's not perfect. He's been saved by a perfect God. But to preach to somebody who may be somebody who's been saved for 50 years, or somebody who's been saved for 5 months, or somebody who ain't even saved at all, it's like, okay, how do I mix this jumbo pot of gumbo up and preach the same God to 3 different types of people?
Oh, I can see how that can be.
So it makes it hard to be both relevant and real, because it's okay, how do I get you to understand that the same God who saved me can save you without realizing that I'm still being saved?
Right. I'm
And
still
you not walk
going
away.
through, I'm still,
Yeah.
life's still happening to me.
Right.
So, still learning.
Right.
Going
So
through it.
it can be hard, but one thing that I try to do, especially with preaching to youth, is to try to get them to understand that, okay, hey, we're all walking through this thing together. I may have the mic in my hand, but I'm no better than you.
Right. And that's the thing. A lot of us, we put pastors and stuff on a higher pedestal, but we have to remember that they are human. They still go through life just like we do it.
They definitely do.
And I was definitely guilty of that, and I think that's why my experience at my last church was so hurtful, because I unknowingly put him on a pedestal.
Right.
Like my dad, he was present in my life, but not as much as I would. So maybe I put him in a father figure type position. I don't know what it was, but for some reason, like when I had a negative experience with that, it just crushed my whole world, child. I was crying.
It was like a breakup. And the whole time I'm like, I done told you. No, but I was surprised about that. Like, cause I didn't know, I really didn't. I've never experienced it. I didn't know pastors got down like that. So when that situation happened, I was like caught off guard. I couldn't believe it.
The thing that I would admonish people to understand is that pastors, parishioners, bishops, apostles, evangelists,
Right.
prophets, teachers, whatever the fivefold ministry you want to classify yourself as, they are still human.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
and that he made me realize it.
The only thing is, the Bible says to whom much is given, much is required. So although you are still in human form, you have a supernatural anointing over your life. So there's a certain standard by which you must hold yourself to.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, for me, I've been ordained since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot since 2017
Mhm.
to 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks be to God, some things have been exposed, some things have not.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm still human.
Right.
So one thing that I have to do as a young preacher who's 27, married with 2 kids, I have to continue to understand, okay, you're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy that you're preaching is perfect.
Right.
So how can you draw the attention off of yourself and reflect attention on him, but at the same time still not embarrassing him by what you do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I
And
know
that's
it
the
ain't
thing
easy.
that
not.
it gets easier. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
No, it ain't easy being cheesy. But it's not easy, but at the same time, it does get easier the more that you develop yourself. I feel like a lot of times churches fail for 2 reasons. One, the pastor not being poured into. He has nobody to subject himself under. And then 2, there's no youth.
No youth.
If the youth are the next generation, if we have an influx of people that are coming in, and they are all 50, 60, which no disrespect to anybody who is a seasoned saint, as I would like to call them. But if you seasoned, baby, ain't no more season we can put on you before you get too salty now. So we gotta scatter this season out to somebody else who's coming in.
I get that. I get it.
So it's like what I've found in a lot of traditional churches is we preach to the same people over and over again.
Bruh.
And the people that's coming in, they like, I don't know, my God.
Yeah.
Who is this God you speak of? Who is
this man?
Like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to learn how to preach to all genres of people
Yeah.
while
But
keeping
in
it.
one setting,
Break
though,
it
that-
down for me though.
Break it down, and that's what I liked about Michael Todd. He broke it. He found ways to break it down with visuals, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what drew me to him. Like he broke, and I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner.
And that's a lot of that, and that's what a lot of people don't like about him though.
That
Is
he-
the visuals that he has. They think that he's doing too much.
He be doing a lot.
He been doing a lot now.
And this spit lip
Nah,
thing,
I ain't gonna lie. The spit thing and
Definitely unsanitary.
nasty.
Definitely a
having-
people violation.
having a boat.
Love you, Mike.
We love you.
You
No, don't
great,
get me
but
wrong.
I think he's
But the
great.
boat, having a boat in the water and it's storming,
That was nice.
That was
it
live.
is live, but it is a lot.
But here's the
Church.
thing: with knowing his background, he was just such a creative person. So he
Exactly.
used what God, blessed him with, like to be a creative person. But he like, God want me in this pulpit, so I'm gonna use what he gave me, and what I learned from him, and he put it together. He's doing his
And
own thing.
and I appreciate
don't
that part
like
of
it.
it. I appreciate that part of it because he's definitely reaching people that these older churches cannot
They can't.
They
and
probably
that's the
can't
thing,
reach.
And they probably
that's
can,
the-
but they ain't trying to.
or not trying to.
Right.
Exactly.
They looking at him like they turn their nose up like, oh, he ain't got to do all that to get the word across. But for a person like me, I needed some of those, him in the bed eating some cookies.
And let me
Yeah.
get, if I can, let me get verbose to that.
Real,
So one of the problems that I have with, I hate to use this term, and I use it very loosely, but the old time saints, they are quick to do 2 things. 1, send somebody to hell,
Mama.
and 2, say what it don't take all that for. When we grew up going to VBS, at church on Monday, choir rehearsal on Tuesday,
yes.
church on Wednesday, lock in on Thursday to Friday, feeding the homeless on Saturday, then church on Sunday, sunrise service, even though it ain't sunrise Sunday. Like, you laid hands on me for 5 hours to make me get the Holy Ghost and speak in tongues when I still ain't said nothing. So it's like, y'all say it don't take all that to paint a picture of what the Bible looks like. And what Michael Todd does, and like many other preachers, they make the words come off the page.
Literally,
I
they do.
need
They
it.
make it come to life.
And for a world, and for people that need to see real life situations. What's wrong with that?
All we had was, what was that movie? The
We don't know.
Passion of Christ.
Bro,
that
we
was
watched
hard.
that.
That's all we had
We
to
watched
look
that on Halloween. Like, why are we even doing this
They
right
trying
now?
to scare us. That's all we had as far as visuals. That and Prince of Egypt is my favorite movie till this day.
Beyond this time, the writers of Prince of Egypt, y'all are the goats.
That was. Oh, I thought that was another movie. I never seen Beyond the Time before. I never seen it.
Yeah.
Hey, but no, Prince of Egypt is the best. Like, I love it. But that's all the visuals that we had.
And I appreciate Michael Todd. Don't get me wrong. His sermons are great. The visuals are great. Now, that Easter service, I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot for me.
Rapping on Easter.
We're going to show you after. He had he had this whole production, and he did remix secular music and put it in the production. This is in the sanctuary.
They were, now, ain't no gonna be like the old folks. They were doing a little too much for me.
That was a little too much for me.
Cause they did like a whole skit. Like
it was a skit, but it was different from the church skit.
Yeah, like girl, you shaking your booty in the club, all the other stuff.
Yeah, he had a
But it was
demo
on
of that.
on
To me,
church- I mean, on
it's
stage.
a little too far left from me. I feel like there's still, and I'm not judging. It just wasn't for me. It
Some
could have
stuff
been
got
for
to still be
somebody.
kept sacred.
That's what I'm saying.
period.
That
Right,
was my
period.
thing. And so remixing gospel song, like secular music into the gospel
it was a Cardi
songs.
B song, right?
It was a Cardi B. They did Beyonce, all this stuff.
Yeah, that's a bit much because when you think about it, it's
separate.
like okay, you're married, I'm married, so there's no disrespect at all.
At all.
If hypothetically we were not married, right? Hypothetically,
Listen.
Listen to him.
if we were not married, and I were to write Tierra a love note, you know, back in the day, back in school, we used to write who was from, where I was at, what song was playing, what I smelled like. Like we had before we wrote the letter, we had like
Man, I
5
want somebody
lines.
to write me a little.
Exactly.
Man, and we fold that bad boy up and put the little pocket in the middle. Might spell looking long if I really like you. But if I wrote you a love letter,
Right.
and while you're reading it, you have no idea that I'm thinking of Oksana the whole time I'm writing it. You're reading that letter thinking, oh my God, he's thinking of me. But I gave it to you, writing and thinking about her.
A lie ain't nothing for a nigga to tell.
The disrespect. You feel like, dang, like I done got in my emotions. I done got all invested. I'm crying. I done smelt it. It smelled good. And you're thinking that I'm talking to you, but the whole time you're reading something that I really meant for her. That's what it's like taking a secular song, turning into a Christian music.
That's good.
Because you wrote that under the auspices and the mindset of I'm writing this under something else that is not Christian.
That's good.
It's not.
But then you present it to God, which is a fragrance that He's not gonna want to smell.
God, dog. Y'all heard that?
So
my.
while it's good to be relevant, you got to be careful because some stuff God looking at like, hey, bro, that ain't for
But
me.
you
That ain't
know
even
one
me.
thing about it though, one thing that I've started doing, like since, you know, Pastor Todd been under people's what you call
Microscope.
them? Microscope. I've been praying for him, like Lord, keep him pure.
As you
Make
should.
sure his
Yeah,
mindset
absolutely.
is make sure he's doing it for you, not just for, you know, the audience or whatever. Like, I just be praying him and Pastor Keon because, you know, people got something to say about all of them, really. Joe,
always gonna have
I
something
really
to
don't
say.
listen to him, but I'm talking about the pastors that I listen to.
And it's not easy preaching in the 21st century. Like, it ain't. We're in a world of gimme. And
Yeah.
it's at our disposal. Like,
Yeah.
just as quickly as you can access pornography, you can access a preacher.
My
Right.
God.
2 totally different spectrums. So it's like you have to be. The Bible tells us to be Bereans, which means to basically search the text. If you at church and you don't bring your Bible, shame on you. If you don't bring a hardback Bible, shame on you.
Shame on me.
Shame on me.
Shame on you.
So my phone not good.
I have
Get
one.
that phone.
It's too easy. Honestly, it's too easy.
Right.
Because you'll go from being on that app to being on that Bible, to being on
Never.
Facebook, to being on Twitter, to being on Instagram.
Wait, you talking about at church or at home now?
Wherever.
Damn, well, shame on me.
No,
Can you give
for
me a
real.
Bible?
No, that's
Can
real.
you buy me a
Because,
Bible? Okay,
I put your name on it.
thank you.
Put easy on
Put
the
your
podcast.
name
Love
on it.
but no, for real though, I realized that
Put easy on
once I transitioned to my phone off of my hardback Bible, when I went back to the hardback, I'm like, dang, Genesis, Exodus, hold on. What? I forgot the books of the Bible, y'all. I forgot
Right,
the
I
order.
forgot
And we grew up in VBS learning this.
And you gotta know it from
We
was
Genesis
like a
do
key
like,
in the beat.
we talking about from here to here. I don't know.
We got
Genesis, the
snacks
first
from getting to the Bible,
Oh.
cooking to somebody else.
Like I don't forgot that. So if I go with what you saying, and this is challenging me, like he's gonna give me a Bible and I'm gonna read it.
I am.
But it's like when the pastor be like, go to da 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 da. I be like, ooh wee, what that said? He done read the scripture. He done read the scripture, and I'm still searching.
You ever been trying to find it quietly while everybody else is finding it? You be like,
looking like. I'm looking on their page.
But
like,
no,
damn,
that's
what
why I
number
like
that
the
is?
New Age churches, because now, like, you can just act like
It's
you
on the
got it,
screen.
and it's on the screen.
it's on the screen right behind
It's
us.
on the screen
Right,
already.
right,
I ain't gotta
right.
really look it up.
You don't, but that's easy. We want easy access to everything, bro, and that's all it is. We just want easy access.
I want to emphasize religion versus relationship. Because I think moving churches has helped me realize that it's about relationship,
That's all
bro.
it is. That's the most important thing.
All these customs, you gotta wear stockings, you gotta wear a dress, you can't. Oh, it's trash. It's trash.
Dookie.
It's only, and you know what I found? I'm not going to say it's only in the black community because it is some Pentecostals who are Caucasian. And they church.
The word Pentecost.
Their
It
church.
just bring back memories.
They church is different.
I never been to one.
I have.
He said, "Oh my."
I have.
You ain't gotta go. But there's so much stuff that people have found a finite or an interesting way, rather, to put God in a box that he's never been ordained to be in.
Exactly.
Like, we have found a way to say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you're doing this, you're going to, and nowhere in scripture does it say that.
Exactly.
And God is like, I ain't co-sign on that. And that's why there are less millennials in church, because like y'all making it seem like God is so hard to get access
and
to.
he's
not.
He said, come unto me all that are heavy laden and I will give you rest.
Exactly.
He is.
All means all. Like,
And that's what I realized. Like, I don't have to be perfect. When I realized that, so much stress came off of my body.
I'm
I
realizing
just
that now.
felt this overwhelming need to be perfect and pure. And for some reason in the Christian community, having your virginity is like you the purest of the pure if you keep your
the pastor ain't keep his virginity most of the time.
But see, but no, you say that, and but come on now, that's what he want. That's what he want. But my thing is, you ain't gonna go to hell. You're not gonna go to hell because you done lost.
Okay, so let me dispel something. Based upon scripture, there are deadly sins and there are things that are an abomination to God.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When God talks about an abomination, he's not talking about a hiccup. Like, there's one thing to steal something one time.
Mm-hmm.
You deal with the consequences. It happened. You grow from it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you create a lifestyle, this is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I lied one time, that doesn't classify me as a liar, because I lied, I learned from it, I stopped lying.
Right.
What's next?
Mm.
But if I'm a habitual liar, that means that I have a habit. I have a lifestyle. I cannot not lie.
Mm.
This is what I do.
When it come out, every time I talk.
When you do that is what classifies you as a liar.
Right.
So in church, we oftentimes classify people by what we found them, forgetting that there's a redeemer that can save them from where they are and transport them to where they're supposed to be.
Easy where you are, right here, right now. Watch
so
this
we
episode.
We send people to
It's
hell.
hard to remember though.
We send people to hell in the introduction of who they are, not knowing that there's a whole prelude that's coming after they meet God.
Right.
And that's why millennials have a hard time coming to church, because like, all I know, if I'm gay, if I go to that church, they're going to send me to hell. Like, no. You may be gay today, but if I lived the life before you that shows that you can be something else other than what you think you are, you can change from that. The problem is there's nobody that's living out what they're saying.
So speaking of gay, it was a post. It was a post that said Happy Pride Month to all the church musicians and the choir directors. and stuff like that.
I saw it.
And I was just like, why is that though?
Why is what? Why they gay?
Why they make the post? Is that true?
Majority of them.
A lot of them are.
Majority of them
And
are
why
gay.
do you think that is?
Because you have people who have learned to practice discipline in the area where they need deliverance. Case in point, I was a person who heavily dealt in fornication, premarital, and postmarital. If we're gonna be real, we're gonna be real, right?
Real raw.
No, we real raw.
And my wife knew I was coming to this show. She knew exactly what I was gonna talk about, so there's no shock to my wife. The problem, which correlates to a lot of millennials leaving church, is because you have undelivered people who are practicing in discipline, preaching, playing, ushering, doing altar call, doing all these things.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Because anybody can be delivered.
Right.
I don't care what walk of life you come from.
Yeah.
Anybody can be delivered. Once you know God for yourself, you can be delivered. But the process of deliverance looks different for everybody. So here I am, a person who has been knowing God my entire, raised in church, I could not be at church. Knew God at an early age. At 13 years of age, I knew what the church that God would give me. I knew the name of it. I knew what it looked like. I knew the layout. I knew everything.
Oh, wow.
Here I am, 27. My first time having a sexual encounter was when I was 13. She was 21 years old.
Right.
Had no clue the perversion that would enter into my life that would directly affect me and those around me. Still preaching. Got ordained in 2017. I think I was like 21. Got married 2 years later, so I had to be like 22, 23 or somewhere around there. Had a son. Got married. Like all these things. Still doing good things. To where somebody that didn't know me, they'd be like, oh, he's doing good for himself.
Yeah.
What you don't know is I battled perversion.
Yeah.
I battled with masturbation. I battled with pornography. All these things I battled with while I was still leading praise and worship,
Dang.
playing the drums,
Yeah.
running the sound booth, teaching the youth, doing all this stuff and the thing that people don't realize is that a lot of people are literally, preachers included, are literally bound by some of the things they deal with, but they have nobody to speak to.
But why? Okay, so they feel like they have no one to speak to, or they realize
A lot of them really don't. A lot of them really don't.
But when you have so many counselors and that's it's the in it, because men feel like they have nobody to speak to. When you have the resources, you just don't want to go to them.
Or you feel like you can't.
You feel like you can't, but if somebody's telling you like, hey, come talk to me, come, and y'all still choose not to go that route, I just feel like that's kind of crazy.
Let me ask you something.
What's up with it?
You're the owner and CEO of Elevated Spaces, correct?
Right.
If you go into if you didn't know Tiara and she asks you, hey, I want you to decorate my home. Let's say the first time you go in there, you have no idea how you want to decorate it,
Right.
what you want to do. You have no vision for nothing at all. Would you tell her that?
No,
Why wouldn't you?
because it wouldn't look right.
Exactly. So me as a preacher telling people that are already looking up to me, hey, I'm broken. Hey, I'm hurting. Hey, I'm a 27-year-old man who's still trapped in the 13-year-old mindset.
Wow.
Well, this happened to me. I can't get verbiage to it, and I'm afraid to tell you about it because you may not feel like I'm worthy enough to give you my experiences and legitimize it with the word of God. How can I come and talk to you? So thus you have preachers that have been preaching for centuries, decades, still bound by things that have happened to them when they were young, but they have nobody they can feel safe enough to talk to. But they still preaching.
That's sticky, man.
It's sticky, man. Because
Since a certain
I've been
place.
thinking about it recently. I'm like, because a lot of men feel like they can't talk. Also because of what they've been taught, like, oh, it's not okay to cry, stick your chest out, wipe them tears. No, it shouldn't be like that. And I really hate that it's like that for y'all. Because me, I'm going to cry. And I ain't going to think twice about it unless I'm sitting here on this sofa in front of the camera. But I'm not going to think twice about it. And I really hate that y'all feel like y'all cannot go to someone and let them know that y'all are broken. Y'all have been Like, cause it's a lot of men that were molested at a young age, you know. Cause I watched Antoine Fisher.
This girl here.
It was real.
It
said based off a true story.
Based off a true story. Come on now. And I watched it as a kid, and I was like shocked to see that. You know, that there was a man getting molested by an older lady. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of men have went through that, and I really hate that y'all feel like y'all can't go and talk to anybody, you know, because it's people out there that is willing to help, bro. But you just gotta be ready to, you know, take that shit up off you and get it off.
People think that men don't talk. We do. We just wait for a safe place to speak.
So, what was your safe place then?
Honestly and truthfully, I have two people.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them I've been knowing the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. My best friend, who is Reginald Killer, I've been knowing him since high school, and my wife. Mm-hmm. Which, honestly and truthfully, and when I say just, I'm talking about like within the last year. And we've been together going on 10 years in November 17, 2013 to now. I just found out that she was my safe place.
See, and she probably could have been that in year one.
And she thought that she was.
Right.
But I never gave her an opportunity.
That's just give
us
a nigga a chance, man.
But the thing is, so here's how, which is probably going to our
the next segment.
I'm ready to sit back. Can y'all hear me?
Our thing is just like, okay, as a man, if we're taught to be the protector, to be the provider, to be all of these things, what space do I have to take my cape off?
Pull your mic down a little bit. That's the thing, though. We still want y'all to be all that, but still be vulnerable.
Y'all do, but y'all don't.
We still be all of that and still cry.
We don't.
You
don't.
I am okay with
Why
my
you
husband.
say we don't?
I'm okay with my husband crying in front of me, seriously.
Why
and
not?
I don't judge him. It doesn't take away from his capabilities, his manhood, nothing. I'm okay with him crying in front of me.
Mm. Would you be okay if your man told you, hey, I thought about having sex with somebody else today?
Yes.
Let's work through this shit. Okay, now, bitch, you can't go Thanks for giving me a heads up. Now, what she had on? Now
that's what I'm saying.
What triggered you?
If there's a conversation beforehand, because I'm realistic, bro. I can't expect just because I got married that my husband may not find another woman attractive, just like he can't expect me not to find another man attractive. Mm-hmm. It's about your actions behind it, though. I don't mind you having a thought, but what you going to do with that thought?
Let it stop now. Come on.
That's
think
what
about
it's
it
about.
And go about your business.
That's what it's about.
But I get what you're saying, because everybody think about the shit.
Everybody think about the.
I mean, it's a little bit of give and take. And here's what I mean by that. Like, as a man, first of all,
real raw.
Guys, I'm finna put us out there, right?
And put us out. Put them out.
Guys don't gal, let alone wife an individual that we already don't put on the pedestal.
Okay.
Say it again, bring it back one more time.
Guys don't gal, let alone wife an individual that we don't put on a pedestal.
Oh, that y'all don't.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Out of every woman, I don't care if he's an ugly guy or a good-looking guy, out of every woman that we know that we could potentially get that we've seen or have not seen, we put you here. Mm-hmm. So by us putting you there, there's automatically a subconscious ideology that I have to live up to the standard at which I hold you by. So in the event,
so it's what you put on me.
That's what I'm saying.
You put it on me. I didn't even put that on you.
It's unfair to both parties.
Okay, as long as we know it's unfair.
Let's say that. Let's add it out. It's unfair to both parties because in your mind, out of all the niggas I can get, I chose you.
Exactly.
Out of all the females I can get, I chose you. So you have two people who have chosen each other, who have subconsciously put each other at a different height. Without verbally communicating, even if they have verbally communicated that I see you here and I see you here, there's a standard by which you must be upheld. And quite naturally, if you put him up here, you know there's some gap that I got to redeem. He knows if I put you up here, there's some gap that I got to redeem. But the area between not yet and already, most don't reach till they get married.
That's where it get crazy.
So here you are, two people who are trying to do life together, who know that you're better for me than I am for myself, but I'm not quite there yet.
And how long do you
I'm
wait?
not quite there yet.
And exactly. So how long? So you have to be patient with your spouse in that regard.
Not just patient. That's another P you gotta be.
What's the other P?
Persistent.
I gotta be persistent.
Both of y'all.
Oh, we gotta be persistent
with each other.
with each other.
With each other.
So can you elaborate on that?
Sure.
What does that look like?
So there are gonna be some pits that you have to pull them out of.
This is the P pits. Okay.
It's a pee party. there's gonna be some pits that you're gonna have to pull him out of, and some pits he's gonna have to pull you out of.
Okay.
Right.
Because the thing is, marriage should not be a topic of conversation unless I realize there's something to me that I can't do without you,
Right.
and vice versa.
Right.
So if I know that I can't reach my full potential without you, and you can't reach yours without me, then there's some dying to myself that I have to do in order to make sure that I can live for you,
Right.
to make sure that I can live for me.
Right.
So the problem comes when now I feel like I can do your job that you're supposed to be doing for me. That's how infidelity happened. That's how lack of trust happened, because I'm taking myself and putting myself back in my control. When my vows said I've given myself over to you, to death do us part, for better or for worse, all of that. Infidelity, lying, or whatever else could happen, happens literally when you take control back over your own life. When you knew that you married this person because they have the ability to take you from where you are to where you're supposed
Whoa.
Dang, that's
Whoa.
deep. Not you singing.
God, that's
to.
deep.
It's true.
That
And I'm
is
speaking from
fidelity.
experience.
So what is your experience?
I was not always faithful. I've never seen a successful marriage. And I say these things not to make excuses, but to give relevance to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I never seen a successful marriage.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has never seen a successful marriage. We knew that when we got married that we were supposed to break generational curses together. But in us knowing that we were supposed to break generational curses together, we knew there were still generational curses that would cause apart.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am having molestation that runs in my bloodline, lying that runs in my bloodline, cheating that runs in my bloodline. My wife has the same thing that runs in her bloodline. We have two people who have dedicated their lives supposedly to each other to help break these generational curses while still being bound.
Dang. So listen. So do you unbound that before you get married?
I recommend that people, if you're desiring to get married, if you are dating and you feel like, sir, if you feel like that is your wife, go get counseling.
Go get counseling.
Ma'am, if you feel like that is your husband, go get counseling.
Just go get it right now to work on you before you try to put you with somebody else, and now y'all life is messed together and it be a whole mess.
Because people talk about soul ties, stuff like that. Soul ties is nothing more than a satanic mirror of something sacred that God created.
Go deeper.
Because if marriage is God's relationship between him and the church,
Right.
a soul tie is something you do before you get married. How often do you see married people talking about a soul tie?
I didn't hear about soul ties until 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
It became like the elephant. It
It's a
became
hot topic.
like
Yeah, I had never heard about that. So when I heard about it, I'm like, what y'all talking about tying souls and stuff?
soul ties became a topic when people started realizing, I can't get rid of this guy. I can't get rid of. That's not a soul tie. When you have premarital sex with somebody and you intertwine your souls, you're basically saying, I am endowed. I
You
have
mar-
vowed.
like you married. Because
What-
back in the day, wasn't no courthouse and stuff. You consummated your marriage.
That's
So
where
I-
consummation
I'm-
comes from.
I guess I am married.
She's not.
This girl is a clown.
No, that is sick. That is a sick way to think about it. It is. That's crazy.
The enemy's goal is to literally pervert everything that God created to be sacred. That's why soul ties come. Because soul tie says, I am, when I give my body to you, which I hate to go too much Bible, but it's just in me.
Go.
When
That's
a
what
soul
this is about.
a soul tie is nothing more than God's description of what a consummation of marriage looks like. In the old times, in the Old Testament, when a man would marry a woman, she was supposed to be a virgin. So what he would do was, after he got married, after the ceremony and all that type of stuff, they would go into the bedroom and they would consummate their marriage. Basically, he would break her virginity and cause blood to be on the sheets. He would literally bring that sheet out and show it to the people at the ceremony, which show that, hey, they have consummated their marriage, which means consummated means they have basically concreted. It's done. Like,
I ain't made it to that part of the Bible.
it's there. Now in the 21st century, we got rings to show we married. Even if we ain't even had sex, if two virgins get married, at the wedding, you get your ring.
And you married.
But the honeymoon is when you consummate.
Yeah.
But back then, it wasn't no honeymoon. It was like, oh, I do, I bet. We do too. And once we do, we'll show y'all what we did. And that was the consummation of the marriage.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the enemy has perverted it to where now, okay, you can give your body to whoever you want to.
And that's that's like pornography. That's where that comes in. You mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, child.
It's deep, bro. It's deep.
That is so deep.
It's deep.
So I mean, what if somebody get married and they hadn't had no individual counseling yet? How do they work through that? Cause did you get individual counseling before you got married?
I just started my counseling in April.
Dang.
And I've been married. We'll make 5 years next year in January.
This is your sign now to get in some counseling. I need to get back.
Get into
Because I
it.
started and I
Seriously.
stopped. And now it's time for me to get back.
Get into it. Find out if your job offered under your insurance.
First,
I still got to pay.
before you pay, but yeah.
But it ain't. Maybe I need to find a cheaper counselor. I don't know.
Child. But we didn't get individual counseling before marriage. So obviously there's some things that have come up that we didn't even realize until we got married, unfortunately, but now we're working through things and stuff like that. So
Right.
yeah.
Everybody thinks they're
Counseling
ready
is
for marriage until they're
beneficial.
married.
Say it again.
Everybody thinks they're ready for marriage until they're married.
Wow.
This
Literally.
is true.
People have made marriage to be the pinnacle of relationships, and really it's the beginning.
It's definitely a new beginning.
Because you don't know who you are until you get married. As a man, you don't know what you are capable of doing until you have a responsibility to hold the house together.
Yeah. So do you think you can ever be ready for it then, if that's the
Right.
case?
If you're saying that, can you
Because
ever be
men
ready?
be like, oh, I'm not ready. I got to get my finances together. I got to do this. I got to do that. Do you think that's a requirement before marriage? Or do you just need a vision?
It could be, I'm glad you said that. Because a man without a vision is not a man.
My. Shame on you.
Sir, if you are a man and you have no vision for your life, let alone, you are not a man. You are a boy. Because a man literally paves the way for those that are coming behind you. As a man, you are literally your main responsibility is to be a trailblazer.
Yeah.
One of your main responsibilities, shall I say.
Mm-hmm.
One of your main responsibilities is to be a trailblazer for those who are going to be following behind you. If you are involved with youth, you trailblaze the way for them to follow behind you.
Right.
If you're married, you trailblaze the way for your wife to follow your lead. And a lot of times marriages don't last as far as millennials because the man doesn't know. Nobody is building up the man. You want that man to be a man. You want him to pay all the bills. You want to do all this stuff, but nobody is building him up. In the black community alone, how many successful marriages have we seen? So we get married thinking that's the pinnacle, but what you don't realize once you get married, you're like,
a successful marriage when they don't divorce? What's successful? I don't know why I
That's
keep
a good
looking down here.
question.
This is me thinking like, what's a successful marriage?
What defines a successful marriage?
Because I've seen people who stayed together thick and through thin. I've seen it. They probably didn't have the best marriage.
Yeah.
Now, they probably didn't have the best one, but what is a successful marriage?
I would suggest that a successful marriage is often the ones that you probably think are the most unsuccessful.
Because they done went through. What was that?
I had choked. I mean, I can't choke. Like, on camera.
The successful marriages are the ones you probably don't think are successful. Because you don't know how successful your marriage will be until it's been tried.
Right, you gonna go through some stuff.
So when you don't know, when all you see is they stay together, that's probably a successful marriage.
And that's why I say I feel like I've seen it. Like, I feel like I done seen it before.
Because
I haven't seen a perfect marriage.
But
won't.
but that's my thing though. Like, just because they stay together, because some people stay for the wrong reasons. Like for kids, I want to stay for my kids. So does that make it a successful marriage?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Let's take it back, right? If we call ourselves Christians, we're going to govern ourselves by the Bible.
Right.
Right, let's do it.
So if marriage is something that God created based on my word for Christians, God had his son sitting down through a virgin, came into a sin-filled world. Because mind you, this is post Adam and Eve, so the word is worldly. So he comes down. He comes to a world that does not accept him. He somewhat earns his acceptance by performing miracles and showing them, hey, I am the Christ that you think that you know.
Right.
People still deny him to the point where they put him on the cross.
Still ain't believe.
So if Christ is the husband and he's coming for a wife that is without spot or blemish, which is the church, who continually sins, who has pastors in the pulpit who cheat on their wives, who have musicians who are gay, who has elders in the church who probably don't want to be there. If he's still this holy and righteous God who's coming back for a church that has shown from centuries that we are imperfect, but he still look at us like an apple of his eye.
Right.
That is a depiction of what a marriage is. A depiction of a marriage is something that looks imperfect, but still striving to present itself in the right way.
Wow. That's powerful.
Because life gon' lie.
Life gon' lie.
Whether you want it or not.
Whether you want it or not, the shit is gonna happen, and you gotta get through it. You gotta get through it, bro. Just work. And that makes me scared, though. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all both up here married, and I'm single. And it's like, dang, but dude, what I'm saying is, life be life.
Of going through things in your marriage.
I already, so like, it's like I'm looking forward to like, okay, I want to be married one day, but it's like, dang, like, shit, that's more heartbreak. Like, who wants to get their heart broke? But it's gonna happen either way. So goddamn, I guess it might well happen in a marriage. Who wants to think like that though? You know, but shit happens.
You shouldn't think of it like that, because you
shouldn't. I'm not gonna go in thinking like, oh, this nigga gonna break my heart. Oh,
don't, because like I told y'all on the phone, the thing with women and men is we want the same thing one at a different time.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
You talk about
this is behind the scenes coming to the scene.
It's coming to the scene.
Women and men want the same things but a different time. A woman wants to know that before I give you my body, are you worth it? A man wants to know before I give you my time, can I have your body? We both want the same thing, but we want to do two different times. Yeah. Which is why a man will play with a woman's mind and titillate her emotions to think that he wants something other than what he really wants. Until he gets it.
Want the
and then when she realized he got it and he acting different, baby, that was just playing all along.
God, dog.
That was his plan all along, and you figured out like, okay, nah, I really don't want to like that. And then here I am.
Giving it up.
God damn.
Dang.
It happens.
But it's just like, that makes so much sense, though, because we do like, bro, you're not just finna come over here and think you finna get some da-da-da.
And then he come over there and get
da-da-da. I say da-da-da. Hey, I say da-da-da. No, but
and he
it's
come
like
right over there and get it.
He don't come right over there and get it. But yeah, most cases he do. Sometimes sometimes. But what I'm saying is, I have waited though, right? And I thought like, oh, this man didn't ask me for sex. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, oh, he good. I'm the one that brought sex up. Like, you know, we in months, months, right. The longest, So I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking he a good person because he didn't come to me with sex. But I have learned that men are great pretenders. They can pretend.
People.
Right, but I don't date people. I date men. I have sex with men.
People.
Okay. People are great pretenders, and they gon', until they get what they want. And people can switch up at any minute. And they can change their mind. And it's okay with people changing their mind.
Right.
Before or after they get the cooter.
Right.
Oh, Lord. So I wanted to ask something else about millennials and being married. I forgot what it was though. What was it?
What did he deal with?
I don't know. I forgot. That was good. I wanted to hit your 5 T's. How can we?
Oh.
Because you talked about the 5 T's when we did our conference call.
I did. And I stole this from my daddy. If you ever watch this, Dad, I'll give you credit. 5 T's to every relationship. Talk, time, trust, transparency, touch. Let me break that down. In any type of relationship, you have 5 T's. The more that I talk to you, the more time I want to spend with you. Right. The more time I spend with you, the more trust I'm going to have with you. The more that I trust you, the more transparent I become with you. Mm-hmm. The more transparent I become with you, the more it's going to lead me to want to touch you. Mm-hmm. Touch in finances, touch your body, touch in business, entrepreneurship, ideas, or whatever. Those are 5 elements to every relationship. And once you realize that, it will help you gauge where you are. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and that really relates into monogamous relationships with people, because as a man, I won't trust somebody I haven't talked to.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
A lot of times, infidelity happens because I've talked too much.
God damn.
I've talked too much.
Damn.
I've talked to you, whether it be about myself, my problems, my trauma, what I'm dealing with. Boom. I've covered 1 T. Mm-hmm. Now I want to spend time with you. Whether I spend time with you on the phone.
Because you want to talk some more.
Because I want to talk some more. Mm-hmm. Once I do that, I trust you. Because I'm not going to talk to somebody that I don't trust. Damn. I'll talk to you, but I'm not going to want to spend no time with you unless I trust you. Mm-hmm. So now I went from investing a penny to investing a nickel to investing a dime. Talk, time, trust. Now that I trust you, okay, I'm going to open up. I'm going to be transparent with you. I'm going to be honest with you about what I'm dealing with. This was really going on. What you think you know about me, that ain't really it. This is really who I am. So now I have become naked in front of you. And I've shown you my scars. I've shown you my trophies. I've shown you the things I'm ashamed of. Mm-hmm. I've shown you the true essence of who JaMaurie really is.
Yeah.
I've talked to you. I've spent time with you. I've trusted you. I've become transparent. It's only a matter of time before the inevitable happens to where now I want to touch you. Damn. That's how infidelity happens.
That is a whole math equation.
It can start off. It can start off so innocent.
Cool, like little chilly cool,
little something.
But like you said, get to talking too much, and I listening to that.
And I'm gonna say biosexual, so it's hard.
What the? Oh, you attracted to intellect, right?
I'm an so like if I find if my wife knows this, if it's somebody that intrigues, because I'm a very complex person.
Even if it's a man,
right.
Not trying to be funny, because I heard that. No, because I've heard that before, but it's like if you start talking to a man like that.
A lot of them don't have conversation. A lot of women don't have conversation. From a man's perspective, a lot of women don't.
Right, I can believe that.
If she, this gonna make some people mad.
Oh God,
we ball. If you are a man and you have found a woman, whether you're in a relationship or not, and she can hold valid, continual, countless, hourless conversation, she is a hoe.
Oh, so I've been feeling the whole time. I'm like, damn, I ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm like, damn, this nigga ain't gonna like me today.
And here's why I say that.
Okay,
here's why I say that.
Here's why I say that. Got up and started shouting.
Here's why I say that, because if I'm a man and you're a woman and we've already discovered that we want the same thing at different times, we should not have that much to talk about. Because we don't see eye to eye. As men, we are naturally and authentically created to be problem solvers.
That's gonna make a lot of people mad.
You present problems to us. So here we are on 2 totally different spectrums, and we can relate about a lot of things. You're too much like me.
Boy, I almost grabbed that collar on your shit.
You too much like me. So if we talking and we can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours, it's because I see more of me in you than I'm supposed to.
What?
Mind blown.
Mine is blown.
Mind blown. So, oh dang, that was a lot to take in.
Maybe he ain't mean hoe, y'all.
I meant it.
He said he meant it. He gonna stand 10 toes down. He said what he said.
If the conversation is hard, now there's a difference. If the conversation is hard, it feels forced. She's not that into you, or he's not that into you. But the conversation is flowing, and you're like, I don't know why I like him. I just like him. Like he just, I don't know. Like I don't know what it is about her, bro. But I'm telling you, like everything I think she be on point. She's like you.
Oh, that's why I say she a hoe, cause you a hoe.
I'm not saying me.
You saying me?
Now Matt passed. I could peep him. Like I could see it. Like yeah.
Damn, we need another episode with.
We gonna have another one.
How do you know if she a hoe? No,
you know.
that's some good.
I want to ask. Go ahead.
That's some good stuff. That's all I was saying. Like I'm still like, cause I promise you, I be thinking like, and what you saying is pretty sure it's true to an extent, right? Cause I so be like,
there's some gray areas. Yeah.
I ain't got shit to talk. Like maybe nigga not feeling because I ain't got too much to talk about. You know, like I got shit to talk about, but it's like, how you doing every damn day?
Yeah.
We know what you're not. Then we know you're not one. But I want to talk about back to infidelity. So moving forward now, so you learn from your experience with infidelity. So how did you what boundaries do you have in place now?
I'm glad you asked.
To prevent that, because I want to bring it full circle. We don't want to just talk about what happened and not see the resolve. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how did you do that?
It took an awakening on my end. And it was very hard. It was extremely hard. I remember when everything kind of came out and my wife called me. And the thing is, my wife is, you will know that woman is supposed to be your wife and she can tell you things about yourself you have not told her.
Wow.
When that woman can literally peek into your future and tell you, hey, babe, I kind of felt this. Because women always go off of feeling because they're feeling oriented.
Right.
Nothing against y'all.
No,
but
that's
God created y'all to feel. God created men to fix. So if that woman can feel you, sir, and tell you, hey, I had a dream about this. I feel like this going to happen. Pay attention to her. Because that woman can literally, one thing about my wife, and I hate it and I love it, but when I know when a woman is going to approach me because she will literally have a dream 3 days later or 3 days afterwards. If she have it 3 days early, I said 3 days later.
Yeah, it's all right.
What I meant was she I thought I was being deep. Definitely shallow. She have it 3 days early or 3 days afterwards. Now, post hoism, if that's a word. If she have it 3 days earlier, I'm on go because my wife didn't warn me that something was gonna happen. And most times she have a dream about a particular person, and it's not about the person in particular; it's the spirit behind the person.
Gotcha.
So when she lets me know, hey, babe, I had a dream about this. If I know I ain't done nothing or I ain't thinking about doing nothing, I know that spirit coming.
Yeah.
So now I'm intuitive and I'm on my guard because I'm like, okay, my wife had already told me that you was on the way.
That's why.
So once I identified, I'm like, okay,
And that's how
I'm good.
You got your person.
Now, if she have a dream 3 days afterwards, one or two things. Either I've already been presented with that Delilah spirit, because this is what it is for me. It's a Delilah spirit. Or I've been presented with it and I fail. So either way, she knows.
And I'm trying to say, let me just say this. Y'all see me right now here today. Men, if you're looking, I am a dreamer, baby.
She is.
I'm a dreamer, so I know when
you will get caught.
You're gonna get. He gonna sit. He gonna tell me. He gonna call me up and say this. Okay. So no, seriously though, those dreams, they be for real.
And I want to tell you, I've been wanting to tell you this for a minute, and I'm gonna say this in front of the camera because this is for you. You have a prophetic anointing, and the more you keep running from that church, you're going to diminish and dim the light that is on your life. You have the potential to touch so many people's lives. I've been watching you since you sat behind me in Miss what's her name class, chewing that gum, loud, Since then, you've had a prophetic anointing, and that's why you fight the struggles that
Crazy.
you fight, and you battle what you battle, because the enemy is trying to get you to doubt what you've been hearing. But I'm here to tell you that the voice that you hear in your head is not just Oksana speaking. It ain't your daddy. It ain't nobody. It is God speaking to you, letting you know that what you're hearing, you have a voice that will literally change the trajectory of people's life right now, today. This podcast is not by happenstance. That's why I came on here. I told my wife, I'm coming on this podcast because I know that y'all are doing something great. And y'all have not seen, y'all have not even touched the amount of people that you're going to, if y'all continue to stay, now I'm prophesying, if y'all continue to stay on the course that you're on, your life will literally change.
It's going to, bro. And I'm telling you,
Wendy Williams, Steve Harvey show, the people that y'all may look, I don't know who y'all look up to.
Not Wendy Williams.
Because she didn't fail on stage. She hit that. But I'm saying, what the point I'm making is the people the people that you may look up to, that you feel like, I want to be like that. You are like that. But remember your why.
We them girls.
This
Remember
podcast,
our why.
That's
bro.
important.
Thank you for
and that's
that.
why we fasted and prayed before we start this podcast, to make sure we're not doing it for clout, for fame, to uplift ourselves, because it's really not about us. It's about God.
It really is.
Yeah.
Real. And
that's why I came on.
You know, we just want to talk about things that people are not. We want to be the conversation starters. Like, hey, y'all heard what was, like real raw, bro. Because people need to hear this stuff. People need
y'all
to hear
address
it.
the elephant in the room that people won't pass.
Yes.
And that's why you're gonna receive two type of people: people that ridicule you, and people that will help praise y'all.
Right.
Because there'll be people that are not ready to hear the truth. They will ridicule you and be like, they just talking.
Right.
There'll be a dynamic of people who say, you know what? I thought that.
Yeah.
Now I know I'm not tripping.
Yeah,
And we get it already, though. We get that already, like, especially with that grief episode.
Oh, yeah. People really connected with that.
Yeah.
So just stay authentic. Stay authentically you guys' self. And I promise you, the floodgates will literally open. I can literally see it.
Open the floodgates of heaven.
Let it!
Let it
rain. Let it rain.
Let it rain.
I thought she didn't like praise and worship.
That's what I'm saying.
I do like
At
that in
church.
the car.
At church, nah.
I said in the car. I said it's because I wake up too late.
Nah, bro. One time you told me you purposely be missing them because you don't want to hear
That's
that.
because I wake up.
Right?
Who?
What church you go to?
I went to a
Baptist.
missionary Baptist church.
That's her.
Missionary Baptist.
I can understand Mission Brother.
They slow singing. Slow singing. Everybody in the audience.
I'm like, Pastor, you don't want to get up yet?
You don't want to get up?
And when he do
still
get up.
going.
Facts.
But
Well,
no, man.
this has been
is
amazing.
good. This has
we
been
have had an
great.
amazing episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
for
joining us. Woo,
man.
we gonna put some
Clap it
applause in
up.
the
We got real raw
We got
on
real
this
raw.
episode, bro.
So make sure you guys don't forget to like, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss any new episodes. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.